Pedro, or excuse me, Minnie Mouse, definitely probably had a very rough day. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke here of wearechange.org with some absolutely crazy, salacious news to get into today. As, of course, the situation is not all right. Not just financially, as of course, there's a bigger blackmail story happening right now behind the scenes when it comes to the story of the decade and some politicians being implicated in some really awful, horrible things. Why was there a major delay of one of the most important stories of the decade? Well, we're going to be telling you why in this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast just highlights how strenuous and tough the migrant crisis is on everyone, including the migrants that include Pedro over here that are hired to play Mickey Mouse in Disney World. As of course, there's a lot of very interesting trademark news surrounding Mickey Mouse that we're going to be talking about in just a little bit that we are personally taking advantage of in many crazy, salacious ways. There's also going to be, surprisingly, more woke Disney movies. Who would have seen that one coming? As, of course, what Pedro's going through here is what the majority of Americans are going through, as poverty is becoming the new norm as the United States national debt just hit $34 trillion for the first time in recorded human history. A debt that is almost impossible to pay off. A debt that further is indebting this country into financial servitude that there's no going back from. As of course, a lot of people have hoped that alternative currencies to the US dollar would help them. Looking at things like gold, other commodities, real estate, and of course, Bitcoin, which just yesterday had the praise of very renowned failed economic predictor and analyst Jim Cramer, who actually came out and told everyone how wonderful he thinks Bitcoin is, which made me automatically respond, holy frickin' cow, where do I sell these things now?
This thing is, you can't. It's a technological marvel, and I think people have to start recognizing that it's here to stay. The SEC's been against it almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that every one of these is here to stay, but I do think that this is a remarkable comeback that was unexpected, except for all the bulls who turned out to be right.
Yeah, that didn't take long, as of course, less than 24 hours after that, Bitcoin went down 7% in the making of this video, as people keep pointing out just how much of an effing legend Jim Cramer actually is. As the memes here essentially make themselves, showing you just how awful and absolutely wrong many people in the establishment are, as of course the financial woes in this country are only going to be made worse by the immigration crisis that the Biden administration keeps enforcing and threatening legal action if anyone dares step in and try to do anything about. As of course the Biden administration threatened to sue and take Texas to court if they of course permanently closed their border or decided to send some individuals back to where they came from. This is now today a U.S. Border Patrol agent is under investigation because it is alleged that he returned migrants to Mexico that have already crossed into the United States, as the absolutely reckless policies on the southern border highlight a federal bureaucracy that is hell-bent on importing future Democratic voters, no matter what the cost and consequences, as of course some of the biggest cities in the United States are paying the biggest price for this, as Denver has just announced that it is going to prepare to spend 10% of its general fund on the migrant crisis. This news, of course, going to bring in more migrants into their city, as many Democratic mayors and local officials have described their cities as sanctuary cities and offered free healthcare, free food, free housing to individuals who, of course, just come on and walk in. You're an American citizen, you're a vet, you're a homeless individual, you're someone dealing with the opioid epidemic that was spurred on by the establishment and the big pharma companies that bought off the regulators and politicians. Yeah, screw off, buddy. You're not going to be voting for the Democrats soon. Therefore, the resources that we take away from everyone else through theft are not available to you. And that right there is the perfect representation of woke doctrine that is also, of course, being heavily portrayed in a lot of modern forms of entertainment, including, of course, Disney, that is willing to destroy any and all franchises that they own in order to push a woke DEI leftist cultist agenda. This as Star Wars has just been given to the hands of a Pakistani feminist activist, Obadiah Chino, who will be directing the new films for the franchise, and just publicly announced on CNN that a woman will be shaping the story in a, quote, galaxy far, far away. As, of course, yes, we have more girl boss movies doing incredible and possible things that are not realistic at all. Huh. Oh, how wonderful. Yeah, we definitely don't have enough girl boss movies, and it's so awesome to see Disney and Star Wars go out of their way to, as this feminist activist said, to, quote, make men feel uncomfortable.
Also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmina Bechinoy.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, how wonderful. That's... You could see people lining up not to watch it now. As, of course, a lot of people report, just the woke indoctrination in almost every form of media is becoming nauseating to the point where a lot of the latest movie series are not even watchable anymore, as they prioritize a woke, whitewashing, cult-like ideology over, of course, actual good storytelling. Yeah. Those days are far gone, as, of course, everything around us, architecture, movies, art, are all being destroyed in front of our very eyes in what I believe to be a deliberate destruction of beauty that is meant to demoralize the local populations, which, of course, I routinely talk about on LukeUnfilteredDotCom, where you could bring beauty into your own world by taking care of yourself and, more importantly, your health. I'm going to have another exclusive video available for members on steps that you could personally take yourself to be the best, strongest version of yourself in 2024. That video only available for members, as, of course, now we have memberships as low as just $8 a month, and you could get a full plethora of amazing offers of value. We still have our $15 tier, which of course gives you a lot more. We also have our $99 tier, which gives you way more participation in this independent media organization, as well as conversations and direct access to me and my staff, which could help you with a lot of different things that you are working on personally yourself. Again, if you haven't signed up to LukeUnfiltered.com, we have everything for everyone, as now it's just $8 to sign up and get the very special report for you later on today. As, of course, members of LukeUnfiltered.com, no matter what your status, also get the ability to call in to our live show that is doing incredibly well. And just by looking at some of the numbers here, you could expect some really awesome, cool, fun things coming your way, as, of course, we are going to have another live broadcast later on today. Members of LukeUnfiltered.com get to call in 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I hope you guys take advantage of that, as, of course, we also just launched some Mickey Mouse t-shirts, as, of course, the patent has just expired on Mickey that we took full advantage of, with Mickey saying some really awful, salacious things. It's not us saying it. It's Mickey saying it. And now we have the copyright. Now we have the ability to make Mickey express some really crazy ideas. So crazy that we can't show you the Mickey shirts here. We can't show you the official Disney Mickey shirts on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. They're up there on that website. We can't show them to you here because they are off the wall and absolutely freaking hilarious. Be prepared to shock your friends, your family members by getting a shirt on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. As, of course, there's a lot of things to be absolutely shocked about, as of course we have the story of the decade that many powerful people do not want you talking about, as of course we are still waiting for the full documentation from a 2017 legal case to be revealed to the general public. Now, a lot of people have conflated this with the list of customers for Mr. Epstein, and this, of course, is not the case at all. These are legal documents, including individuals surrounding this case, including associates, including people who were involved in a larger lawsuit here, which includes, of course, victims as well. Now, we got reports that the names of the victims have already been taken out and that they will not be publicly released here, as, of course, we were all waiting yesterday for the files to be released, as they were announced that they are going to be delayed now until January 22nd. Now, why are these files going to be delayed here? Well, I have my own kind of theory about what is happening here, and according to my own kind of personal speculation and own kind of spidey senses and analysis of all of this, I do believe that a lot of what is being done now with these documents is related to blackmail and extortion that is currently going on in Washington, D.C. Most likely between the Obama faction and the Hillary Clinton faction that, of course, is battling each other in the Democratic establishment. And I do believe that it is the Obama faction that is trying to release compromise on the Clintons in order to push them to make some particular moves and decisions that they want them to make, that they want them to back down, that they want them to stop doing. Now, I think there is a high chance and a high probability that right now the Clintons have kind of acquiesced to the Obamas and said, yes, we're going to do what you say, just stop the releasement of this document. As of course, this is just my own personal theory on the matter, as the official explanation is that a John Doe 107 was just granted a 30-day extension to submit an affidavit detailing the risk and harm that might happen to him if his name is released. Now, originally there were supposed to be 170 names released. Now it's over 150. Who will be actually released? Who is John Doe 107? Well, as of right now, we do not know. But the judge here proceeding over this case, Judge Preska, a judge that also, according to some, has ties to the intelligence community, is the one that granted this delay, as now we will have to wait further until a decision is made here about this John Doe 107. As of course, it's also important to understand here that this story cannot go away. This is a story of the decade, as it, of course, implicates a lot of very powerful individuals within our society that did horrible, unspeakable things to thousands of children. Now, are people's lives going to be in danger when they get publicly released here? Well, again, this is the official story of what's going on here. It could be true. It could be not. I truly do believe, with the way that this entire case unfolded, that there is a lot of other things happening right now behind the scenes that we are not privy to. And it's important to understand here that that's usually the common thing that has happened here. As of course, this entire story is still shrouded in mystery. We still do not know much about this entire case, as of course, the federal government participated in this case in many different ways. Now, Alan Dershowitz, a very prominent lawyer and also an associate of Mr. Epstein, just came out and said that a lot of the associates, a lot of the people being named here, quote, didn't know about Mr. Epstein's private life. And for that, I absolutely call bullcrap on. I personally do not believe that myself, as of course there are many documented cases and very prominent individuals saying everyone pretty much knew, including John McCain's wife, that literally came out and said, yeah, everyone knew all the horrible things that he was doing. There's other instances and testimony from victims here that described how just absolutely perverse and awful Mr. Epstein was, to the point where he had to, again, family friendly show here, but he had to let's just say, get one off almost every hour publicly in front of other individuals. There was hidden cameras, there were stripper poles, there was debaucherous behaviors that we cannot describe here that were routinely done in the face of many authority figures that, of course, went along with it in many instances. So do I believe what Mr. Dershowitz is claiming here? Personally, I do not believe it myself. Again, many prominent politicians are involved here. Many of them were asked here about their relationship with Mr. Epstein, and a lot of them always have given very awful answers about this entire situation, which there still remains a lot of very serious questions about. Again, we got very little answers. We still know very little about what was going on here, as of course Tucker Carlson is soon to release the interview that he just did with Mr. Epstein's brother, who of course has some very serious questions about this matter. The conversation also turned to late night television recently, as NFL star Aaron Rodgers suggested that Jimmy Kimmel could be one of the names on the list here, which Jimmy Kimmel responded to, essentially threatening to sue Aaron Rodgers for his comments that, of course, Jimmy Kimmel, of course, disagreed with. Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, has a very interesting chef that's connected to this entire story. By the way, Jimmy Kimmel also said some absolutely really awful things about Aaron Rodgers, personally attacked him before, but now that Aaron Rodgers is firing back, Jimmy Kimmel's are automatically threatening lawsuit. Again, Jimmy Kimmel said some awful things, did some awful things. The guy wore blackface and seriously committed some really awful actions that were not family friendly on national television. And now for him to clutch his pearls is pretty golden here, and absolutely ridiculous. And again, what he said before, the Haiti connection to all of this, especially when it comes to Laura Silsby, is something that I'm going to be talking about on LukeUnfilteredDotCom, as of course we cannot talk about it here. That video available for members right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. Click the link down in the description below. Sign up right now. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. And because you do, that's why we are still here as an independent media organization. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively signing up, which I really, really deep down appreciate you guys doing. Why do you think that this release was delayed? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you agreed with what I said, share this video with your friends and family members. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.